wasn't sure of some of them. Okay.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the League of Legends G7 Round 6 qualifiers for the Division 2 game. I am Usheen Blood Penguin Malloy, and joining me on this very late night cast is going to be Ty, Celtic Tiger, Brennan, and we have got a doozy for you guys tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game for these guys. Legacy of the Kappa and Exitus Red going up against each other. Legacy of the Kappa could make straight into 4th place, making them eligible for the live finals, or semi-finals in this case, so it could be a big game for them.
It could be a massive, massive game. Just so you know, Exitus Esports Red are on the blue side with Legacy of the Kappa on the red. And basically, this is how this thing's going to go. Exitus win, that's it. Legacy of the Kappa do not get 4th place. And this is a huge game, so they could be serious, serious party poopers. They just, all that's on Legacy of the Kappa's mind is if they win this game. They have to win it. That's all they need, because right now, a loss means they're out of the tournament, so they have to play for absolutely everything in this game.
Yeah, and we're seeing the bans come out pretty quickly. We're seeing Xinjiao, not too surprising, a big kind of power pick, I suppose, in Division 2 especially, when it's a little more difficult to coordinate dealing with him. And once he gets into the fight and you haven't got the CC to stop him, can just continuously heal up and does a lot of damage, especially to the carries. So not too surprising to see him go. Poppy was something Renegade Fox has picked previously, but he has been a little lenient, and then the other picks are just kind of general meta picks you could see just banned against specific lanes. And the Corki I like, though, because Too Good has played it in the last 3 games of the 4 games, so probably good to ban it out against him.
Yeah, not giving Too Good that Corki is a pretty solid pick. Renegade Fox going to pick up the Braum, though. Nice solid support for them in the bot lane for iMastro Gaming. And I wonder what Legacy of the Kappa are going to do. Are they going to throw a curveball? Because this is it. This is last chance saloon right now. If they win, brilliant. They are into land. That's the end of it. If they lose, they're out. So they have to think of either do they go comfort? Do they throw out a curveball? Do they, what do you think they need to do in order to come out with a win in this game?
I think you play to what you know. I think they can win this. They just need to kind of chill, not get too hyped up about it. But yeah, keep it chill, try to play to your game, and try keep everything under control, because that's the biggest issue you see in most of the Division 2 games, where one thing going wrong, one lane starting to lose, and suddenly the game seems to fall apart.
Yeah, absolutely. We see the Zed locked in there by Optic Blade, and it looks like Makeout's going to be taking Elise into the jungler, kind of falling out a little bit of the meta in recent days if you're to follow any of the pro scenes, but still a very, very good pick, and synergizes semi-well with the laning phase of Zed as well, so be interesting to see how that combo will work for the side of Legacy of the Kappa.
Yeah, and I like the fact they've got Elise there to match the Zed, just to ensure they have some AP in the side, because otherwise you could leave maybe a Malphite pick open to top side, or even the Rammus top, which has been a little in and out of meta. It is a little better when it has the Zarot's portal, which of course is not available to us, but we'll see if they do what they do decide to respond to Zed with. Something safe like Ahri could be good, but they're going for safer again with that Lulu and the Kog'Maw synergizing so well with it. We'll see what they can do with this.
Yeah, this is 2 huge power picks right now. You're getting the Kog'Maw. Not only that, they're getting Hayam Dorney onto that Lulu as well, which means they're going to have so much protection with the Braum and the Lulu already to keep this Kog'Maw just standing still, putting out the DPS, and getting those Ws off in time and time again in fights. However, they do have to deal with a Zed, which is the kind of semi-counter. I would like to see a little bit more kind of backline damage, maybe a Rumble, but I'm not quite sure if Optic Blade or even anyone on the side of Legacy of the Kappa play that. It's a very, very niche picks in the current meta, but I'd love to see them try just go for something slightly different, maybe.
At the same time, though, that Kog'Maw, Braum, Lulu is such a strong trio, simply because in lane you have the Braum obviously can apply the concussive blows. Kog'Maw follows up on that so quickly due to the fact all his damage is, of course, based on auto-attacking, and he does so very quickly, and that just means it's that much more difficult to deal with. On top of the fact Unbreakable can keep any poke away from him, all he has to do really is finish maybe that Gwynsu's Renans, then get that QSS to make sure Zed can't kill him, and it's pretty difficult to deal with from there. Legacy of the Kappa will really struggle against this one.
Yeah, Nargame picked up there, so that's actually a pretty... I kind of like that pick. despite it not being kind of, seen as meta, it's very much a strong thing that can jump onto the back line, get that Gnar ultimate into wall. If they can stun up the Kog'Maw for long enough, Too Good won't be able to react. He's a very immobile carry, and then it leaves the door open for Zed to get in on top of him. So that's a nice little pickup. I like that. Just a little bit different. Probably a little bit more kind of 6.1 meta, or even before that in recent days. We do see Aurelia being picked up there for Renegade Fox. I've not seen much of her in this entire tournament.
Yeah, and this is really kind of a throwback lane. Nara Aurelia was something you would have seen a little while ago, not really common at the moment, but at the same time, Aurelia has got the option to build Gwinsus if she's ahead, can still build that Triforce. You can go basically what the old build was, which is where you just go Triforce into tank. These are all still fine and they all work this patch. It's just how the transition after that, because she takes a lot more damage than she used to, obviously with all the new masteries coming in doing a lot more, but can still be a huge split pushing threat if she gets ahead.
Yeah, and ladies and we have got the last champion locked in. It is going to be the Alistair for Blue Bulberry. And this is the team comps. This is potentially Legacy of the Kappa's final game, their last hurrah in the G7. This is going to be the last qualifier for them. And we are going to have the teams locked in. On the blue side, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be Exitus Esports Red with Renegade Fox taking Aurelia into the top lane. Dark Steelon taking Gragas into the jungle. Hi, I'm Dorney with Lulu in the mid lane. And Too Good and I Am Astro Gaming with Kog'Maw and Braum in the duo lane. And on the purple or red side, whichever you guys prefer, it is going to be Legacy of the Kappa with Optic Blade taking Gnar into the top lane. Makeout with Elise into the jungle. Slippy hoping to be true to his name with that Zed pick in the mid lane. And Ezreal and Alistair for Y'all Need Jesus and Blue Bulberry in that duo lane. Being honest right now, I much prefer the draft coming out from Exitus Esports Red right now. It's just so many power picks in the current meta. We are paying on 6.3, guys. And it's just a lot stronger in my opinion. You've got the Gragas, which is the Luden's Echo is a lot more tankier as well. He's got a lot more buffs to him. Lulu is always going to be strong. Kog'Maw is just stupid broken right now. I think they just have a much more rounded comp compared to the kind of semi-pick, semi-split push comp of the side of Kappa.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's not just the fact that this could happen or anything. It's almost an inevitability with Kog'Maw. It's like it's very difficult for him to miss position with a Lulu and Braum sitting on top of him, and just in case he does, Gragas can knock everyone away. So I struggle to see a scenario in which he managed to get himself caught out unless Slippy makes a play before he managed to finish that QSS, which again, it will be a slight misposition, but it could be a good play from the side of Legacy of the Kappa to shut him down. I think the early game is what Legacy of the Kappa has to look towards. They have that Elise in the jungle, and they have some pretty good, TP plays available with that Gnar, some good roams and that Zed. It'll be difficult, but it's possible for Legacy of the Kappa to pull an early lead and try snowball off that.
Absolutely, and I think the strength that comes from their side as well is what I said, the split pushing. I'm not a fan of it just purely because the Kog'Maw and the Lulu make that, and even the Aurelia make that so hard to implement, especially when if they start to get a couple of items behind them. The Glitter Lances with the W for the Lulu, with the W procs for Too Good on Kog'Maw, and just Aurelia in general, just able to keep those side waves at bay. So I think rotations and positioning is going to be a huge factor in this game. If one person on the side of Exitus Esports Red gets caught out, their entire team comp kind of crumbles a little bit, because if they lose the Gragas, they lose the initiation. If they lose the Lulu, they lose a lot of protection for Kog'Maw. If they lose the Braum, they lose even more protection for the Kog'Maw and a little bit of kiting. So there's a lot of different things they need to be very careful of, but as a 5-man unit, they're much stronger, in my opinion, than the 5-man team of Legacy of the Kappa.
Also, the fact that as a 4-man unit, which is what realistically I'd want them to look for with that Aurelia, you send her up, you send split pushing, you either keep the Gnar up there, which removes a lot of the initiation for Legacy of the Kappa, or you bring the Zed up there, which removes the ability to kill Kog'Maw. Either way, as a 4-man unit then left for Exitus, all they have to do is walk up to the towers and let Kog'Maw go ham on them, because regardless of whether he's either given the tower or jumped on, he'll have Gwinsu stacked up, he can turn on them, and you'll be surprised how quickly things disappear when Kog'Maw turns them.
Absolutely, yes. And I think it'll be an interesting test for Too Good as well, because Kog'Maw can do a load of damage if he's just let to sit down. You have like a a massive array of defenses around you. So the Braum Shield works, Gragas' barrels work, Lulu works as well. But if you can just get the Kog'Maw out of position, if you can stop him from being able to sit still and just fire out the artillery, he becomes an awful lot less kind of influential to these team fights. I've seen it a couple of times in LCS, a couple of times in LCK, where the Kog'Maw just isn't able to sit still and isn't able to get that DPS down. So it's very, very interesting to see how Too Good will be able to deal with this kind of jump on. He pretty much has a giant target on him, especially when he gets Z ulted, or if he gets Z ulted, or any kind of CC on him. Everyone on the side of Kappa is just going to be jumping on that opportunity to try and take him out.
Yeah, which I think is why you'll generally never see anyone give away both Kog'Maw and Lulu, because Lulu does obviously mitigate a lot of that. But again, is playable around, especially if these guys aren't maybe as comfortable playing to this comp, because again, this is something that will be a big kind of comp at pro level. These guys aren't pros. There is prone to obviously a lot more mistakes, so we could see kind of cracks in what is an excellent team comp.
Yeah, absolutely. We have seen some, let's just call them dragged out games, probably more courtesy to Javelin Gaming than any other team in Division 2. But I totally agree. It's whoever... I feel like momentum's a big factor in this game as well, because Legacy of the Kappa are effectively playing for their lives. They are playing for that final spot in LAN that just brings them to G-Series on March 5th and 6th and just really sorts them out. And I just didn't want to bring it up, but the traditional G Series pause has come and gone, but nothing to be worried about there, guys. But we are on to the rift for the final game of the G Series qualifier between these two teams. It is going to be Exitus Esports Red and Legacy of the Kappa. Hopefully we'll have a decent game, but I'm looking to see what Legacy of the Kappa do. I think a lot of pressure's on them, because Exitus are kind of okay right now. They can lose this and still qualify.
Yeah, and on top of that, they also have more comfortable comps. So realistically, they just need to play back and not force anything early on. Maybe just have Gragas around for safety near probably the bot lane, more importantly than anything, but also around that mid lane. Less so around that top lane, because it's difficult for Gnar to really force the Aurelia out. Possible, but difficult. And that's all they have to do. That's their win condition, because they can just scale up based on that. On the other side, I want to see that Alistar and Elise roaming together, get some strong ganks off, and make this a bit more of a game.
Absolutely. We did see there that Legacy of the Kappa were looking to try and get a little bit of a death push going in the early game. Maybe looking to find someone who might have just pushed out a little bit too far, but pretty standard start there from the side of Exitus as they just fanned out, covered the gates, and didn't really want to do anything. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. My voice has not been in good nick as of the last few weeks or so. Hopefully, but I could not miss an opportunity to cast this game. It was too good to miss up.
Yeah, and let's hope it is a game as well, as we are starting into the laning phase. Nothing too big gonna happen, and it looks like it's gonna be fairly standard starts from both sides. Just leash for the jungler and head to bot lane.
Yeah, we'll see exactly what way they want to work it, but Clippy's gonna find it very difficult pre-6, especially in this lane. And even then, at 6, he's not going to be able to do a huge amount against this Hyam Dorney's Lulu, because it's just going to become very, very difficult, as we see Yalni Jesus and Blue Bullberry getting aggressed on. Nothing too crazy there. It does miss the Alistar Pulverize, so I'm seeing a lot of early aggression coming out from that bot lane, and this is kind of something I wanted to see just purely because both these carries typically need time to stack up items.
Yeah, and again, you saw the Kog'Maw was almost able to instantly proc the concussive blows. Did accidentally auto-attack the Alistar there instead of procking it onto Yalni Jesus, but you can see this is level 1. It only becomes more effective here, but here's the engage.
Yeah, a little bit of engage. Unbreakable goes down, too good. Yeah, still getting hit up there by Blue Bullberry. Couple of missed skill shots there, and it actually ends up being the side of Exodus that come out on top of that trade, as Blue Bullberry just kind of extended a little bit too far. But in the end, there's nothing else too crazy going on as Optic Blade gets a favourable trade. Nearly takes out half the health of Renegade Fox. That was huge.
Yeah, but now we might see something more. Gragas is headed towards that top side. He's going to try come through try. This could be a really good gank for them, because he'll be coming out into Mini-Gnar, but he hasn't warded against it.
Yeah, he has not warded against it. Mini-Gnar, though, is the form you want to be in. As you know, that you're just going to get caught out. Optic Blade, though, gets jumped on. I feel like Renegade Fox wasn't really on the same page as that. Really should have been aggressing. They could have gotten a stun off as well. But they do get pressure. Talk about pressure. Blue Bulberry, I feel like he's maybe catching up a little bit. Blue Bulberry stunned up by the concussive blows. This is looking very, 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 very dodgy for the side of Legacy of the Kappa. They're not getting the trades they want, and they're missing out on CS a little bit.
Yeah, at least you have that Windspeaker's Blessing, Triumphant Roar to heal up in that lane, but you can see that these trades are not going well. And this is the early game. This is when you really need them to go well so you can shut down that Kog'Maw. On the other side, Elise isn't that side of the map either, so can't really relieve that pressure. Just have to try sustain up in that lane because it only gets rougher.
Yeah, we do see another pause coming in. It was paused by iMastro Gaming, so is the side of Exitus red. The internet for Renegade Fox is not really helping him out right now, so hopefully he'll be able to get that sorted out and we will be back into game. I want to talk about, just very, very quickly, we can't talk about too much, just in case the players are listening to the stream. I want to talk about early pathing, just in terms of junglers in general. We've seen a lot of kind of strange games within the entire qualifying series of certain junglers being super, super aggressive, certain junglers taking a very predictable gank path and being caught out for it. What, in your opinion, is the best way to go about your ganking? Is it all a vision game, or is it more about kind of like putting pressure in the lanes and making sure your lanes are okay?
Well, it depends what your win condition for the game is. On the side of Exitus, you're simply looking to match the Elise, make sure that for that level 3 gank, for example, top, which is what they actually did, send that Gragas top lane. Just in case Elise shows up, it means you just kick the Elise out, make sure she can't get a kill up there, and again, you get your chance to scale up, you've shut down a gank. On the other side, you're looking at the Elise, you want to try psych out, make sure Gragas can't predict where you are, and get a playoff in a different lane to ensure your team gets an early lead. That's realistically what you're looking for.
And I just want to think actually just very quickly just on the actual pick of jungler and how important that is to your comp. Make out going with Elise, and on the other side, Stelion going with Gragas. It really does say what you're looking to do with your team as well, because the Elise basically says, I want to win laning phase. I want to make sure my lanes are fed, and I want to make sure that we get ahead from that. Whereas on the other side, you've got Gragas, which is very much more of a kind of team fight orientated, keep one carry alive with or even isolate one of their carries with the explosive barrels. Even I can't even remember the name of his ultimate there. The explosive cast, that's what it is. So it's very, very interesting when you just get two very, very different styles of jungler in the same game, because you know that one, as much as they want to match the other, can't exactly do the same thing as the other, and it makes it very, very interesting team fights and everything else.
Well, interestingly, they do similar things early on in the sense that they both have very good level 3 ganks. The difference is Elise is a lot more damage based, whereas the CC from Gragas is a lot more useful, so generally needs a little bit of damage in the lanes to get things off. However, both scale up quite well. They're pretty versatile junglers in what they can do. That's why they're such popular picks, and of course Gragas just being buffed has come back into the meta so quickly. So realistically, what's nice about them is they give nothing away and can do pretty much everything you want a jungler to do, as they go for another gank.
Yeah, another gank. Optic Blade just gonna hop and skip away. No real pressure being put up in that top lane. But we may see a little bit of pressure being put in this bot lane as Mika has snuck himself in. That's a good headbutt pulverize combo onto Too Good. They're trying to get something here. They do force the flash. What a great cocoon though, and they actually jump on him, force the heal out of him as well. I don't think they'll be able to take the kill off this, but they burn summoners. That was such a narrow path for the cocoon to get through, and they make it work and burn both the flash and the heal out of Too Good. Very successful gank for the side of Legacy of the Kappa.
Not quite getting the kill though, so they'll need to capitalize on that, have Elise turn or even Zed roam down, because still need to force that out of them, because yes, you're getting the summoners, but they come back up by the time realistically these teams are going to be grouped.
Yeah, absolutely. And Gold is dead even right now. There's only really a CS lead, kind of negated by each other. Top lane has about 12-13 CS lead in favor of Renegade Fox. And in the mid lane, it's actually Slippy who takes the CS lead over Hi, I'm Dorney. So not something I was really expecting from that lane, considering Lulu, the ranged champion, would have a little bit more versatility as well to be able to kind of get those minions.
Yeah, and again, it's just knowing the champion slightly better and being able to punish with those shadow shurikens, and of course also having essentially infinite sustain in that energy. It comes up a lot quicker than that Dorney's mana does, but very difficult to force anything onto Lulu, so unlikely he'll go down, but as long as that CS lead remains, Zed's winning that lane.
Now we do see now Makeout is waiting for this lane to push. We do have Dark Stelion off to the side. I don't think really that they want to go for this. They know their summoners are down. Makeout is exceptionally close. He may go for it. He misses the cocoon, and they go for the TP anyway. They're trying to jump on the 2-gun, and they actually are getting a lot of damage onto a first blood there, going over to Yolni. Jesus, Optiblade TPing in. I don't think he really needed to do that. See now in the mid lane, both ultimates use the Death Mark and the Wild Growth. But again, it's first blood over to the side of Legacy of the Kappa. They're giving themselves as strong a start as they possibly can.
Yeah, and that was really nice by Makeout. You blow the summoners, immediately come back, this time with the lane gank, because obviously they're expecting something. Didn't quite land that cocoon, which could have made that a lot easier for them, but still gets the kill, but through essentially what was a good map decision by Makeout here. The TP though, definitely not necessary, and wasn't in a position in the lane where it even helped at all, but he was there, I guess.
Yeah, it was one of those. I don't know, it was one of those weird situations where it looked like the gank had failed because the cocoon missed, but there was so much early game damage from the Elise and from the burst as well from Ezreal, if you can land the full combo, that it was enough to basically take this out. And capitalizing on a very, very, very immobile carry is something that you need to do, especially when you know they have 0 summoners to be able to fight against you. And that was just very well played by Makeout. And if I'm being honest, Makeout has been one of the standout players for Legacy of the Kappa this entire split. Really, really helping his team, pushing lanes and everything like that. So getting advantages for his laners, and a really, really good player overall. So I'd be very surprised to see how he transitions now from this nice early lead that he's picked up for himself and his bot lane.
Yeah, and I'd like to see him maybe try force something top, because the components of Gwynsu's are built onto that Aurelia, which means if you lock that cocoon with obviously the amount of CC Gnar has, you have enough damage there to quickly take her out. However, it's Gragas that's going there first, and they're actually going to meet each other there.
They are, but Gragas didn't actually see Makeout. They know he's there, but they don't really know that Makeout's there, though. So this is a bit of an interesting little skirmish up in the top lane. I don't actually know if Dark Stelion going to be able to do anything for it. Nothing too crazy. They did actually get Makeout in, but I don't feel like they would have won that team or that 2v2 even if they landed a decent cocoon, just purely off of the items that compared from both top laners.
Yeah, I'd actually probably disagree with that, considering the Gnar's got enough tankiness to sustain through it, and of course the components of Gwynsu's aren't that great by themselves. It's the item that people build it for. However, decided to play it safe, which I'm not sure they really should be doing now, but again, another lane gank here, and Gragas is going to go up there, another 2v2 probably in that top lane.
Yeah, nothing too happening. We are looking at the bot lane, but here we go. Explosive cast goes down. Good hop and skip away to get the cocoon down onto Renegade Fox. And that is going to be the disengage for the gank. They did get the Transcendent Blades out of Aurelia as well, so that is going to be an ult that's down for approximately 30 seconds. If anyone who knows how to play against Aurelias, that is probably the most annoying ult in the world. Just wave clear for days.
I don't know, there's some pretty annoying ults out there. I'd call Lulu ult more annoying if we're just looking at this game alone.
I don't think it's that annoying. I think it's very manageable if you can bait it out. But Transcendent Blade is just, you're trying to push up the wave and nothing really happens because all of a sudden you just see this crazy sword just trumping out, and it's just a bad time. Especially when you're a split pusher.
What about Jace? I mean, he just gets a whole extra set of abilities with that ultimate.
Yeah, actually, you know
actually, they removed it, didn't they? Yeah, no, he doesn't even have an ultimate anymore. He just gets extra levels now.
Yep, he just gets extra levels. Someone I actually find very annoying, if you want to even call it an ultimate, is Nidalee's just general kit at the moment. It's very, very annoying. I'm very surprised, actually, it wasn't picked up in this game either.
Well, we've seen in Division 2, it's been the Moo who picks it up more often than not, and a lot of the other junglers not really opting for it. I suppose Elisa's kind of does similar things while offering a little more in terms of CC. Probably just a safer bet if you're not too sure you can get a lot of early ganks off.
Yeah, just rambling now, ladies and gentlemen. As you can probably see on your screens, nothing is happening, and as teams, well, I say nothing is happening, the top lane advantage is getting bigger and bigger for Renegade Fox as he tries to continue his dominance over this Gnar. But that's the thing, Gnar doesn't have to have that many items to be effective in these team fights, whereas Renegade Fox, to really do what Aurelia does best, which is just the split pushing, needs to have items. We've seen how the Transcendent Blades coming out. He does do it. There it is. Burns the flash off him as well. And the most annoying ult in the top lane game strikes again as Renegade Fox picks himself up a nice kill and keeps the pressure on in that top lane. Might burn a flash, or not flash, a teleport as well off Optic Blade when he comes back up.
Yeah, I like the Warden's Veil pickup here by Gnar here, because he knows he's going to have to shut down that attack speed, because probably going to back for that Gwynthus after getting that kill, and that's going to be a pretty big buy. As you saw the amount of auto she's able to get up, she's able to stack it quickly, but that's going to be a gank bot.
Going to be a gank bot as well. Yeah, Blue Bullberry getting caught out a little bit. He is level 7, so he has got the Unbreakable Will, which he does pop, but he's just not tanky enough, I think. As I say that now, too good. Gets caught up by a Cocoon. Good. Glacial Fissure means they're going to be able to take this one, and that's going to be a kill going over to Too Good. Gets it with the ultimate. They may be able to get Makeout as well. They do. It's a double kill there onto Too Good. And that is just a good engage there. But as I say that now, here comes Slippy as he comes in now, wants to take out one person, gets I'm Astro Gaming, gets one kill onto him there, jumps onto Too Good, knows that he does have the oil throw available, does take it, he does not get out, and the Deathmark doesn't quite kill the Kog'Maw. That ends up being a 3-for-1 in favor of the side of Exodus, and they're going to be able to take a dragon off that as well.
Yeah, and this is you see the strengths of the comp, even when it wasn't all obviously together because the Lulu did arrive late. You can see just the power of the fact they're not able to kill Too Good simply because Lulu's there and these tanks are just sitting on top of them. And of course you'll have this split pushing Aurelia that's going to be really difficult for Optic Blade to deal with, as he's just not able to farm against it, and he has to sit under tower if he's going to get anything. So slowly Exitus are just going to start edging out bigger and bigger leads until it becomes difficult to deal with, unless Legacy of the Kappa can find an opening soon.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, the dragon was kind of where they would have really shown as well, because Sean, as they really would have been able to kind of like maybe either get a 3-man Gnar ultimate into a wall, possibly even maybe catch someone with a lack of vision. As we've said plenty of times as well, like the Division 2 isn't going to be the greatest, it isn't going to be LCS level of play, so mistakes can happen and do happen, and it's not the end of the world, but you need to be able to capitalize on those mistakes in order to win these games.
Yeah, and I think the big difference here you'll see between obviously pro play and something like this 2 game is the fact that a draft only makes the game easier. It'll never decide a game, unlike when you see something like this comp, when you see a Lulu Kog'Maw in pro play, the game basically is over. So we'll see what it means for them, but Optic Blade might go down here.
Might go down. We see now Transcendent Blade has been popped, does get solo killed out. As you see Renegade Fox getting jumped on, they may actually just go completely on top of him, but he's actually 1v2ing right now. Not able to get a kill, the repel, able to keep him alive. As we see now, their skeleton throws out the explosive cast, not able to find Makeout, but he's still going on to Slippy. Slippy needs to get out. He has got his shadow available to him and able to slow down, but there's the flash, not able to get him. Yes, he does with the red buff. Nicely done there. Dark Steelion able to make using his flash worth it, and picks himself up another kill. It ends up being a 2-for-1, and they lose a lot of pressure around the map as well, and they lose top tower as well.
Yeah, you can see the power of that split pusher forces a lot of people top because they can't deal with it in a 1v1 situation, and on top of that, still almost gets 2 kills, then can easily be cleaned up after or have things taken on the other side of the map. In this case, they decided to put everything top as well and decided to win it as what wasn't a 3v3, turned to 2v3, but that's the only Jesus.
Oh my god, Too Good is just that, and he just completely obliterates Yoni Jesus, not respecting the damage that would be coming out from McGuinzo's Kog'Maw, and that is just a very poor read on the situation there. It just did not turn out the way he wanted to at all, and with Bullberry trying to deal with that pink ward as well, they just really got baited into that, and that was just a very well played on the side of Too Good. Oh, here we go though, as we see now in Astro Gaming, not really the one you want to go for. Too Good tanking up a bit of turret hits. Going to be fine though. Nakwinzo's going to be able to keep that pushed very much into the turret, and the longer this game goes on, I think as you said it, the harder it's going to be for this side of Legacy of the Kappa to really do anything against this comp, because it's just so hard for them to deal with the Aurelia, the Kog'Maw, and the Lulu.
They do have a decent team fight if that Gnar can manage to ult these people into walls, but again, it's just it's just the manner of building a QSS and using the Lulu shields and wild growth to position better. It's really difficult to force out Exitus's comp when it gets rolling, and right now it's looking like it's doing so.
Yeah, here we go. Makeout gonna find I'm Dorney, but that's not the one they need to be careful of. Renegade Fox is coming in now, as is Dark Skeleton. Steelion even as they go into on top of all this. Optic Blade does TP in, has got Mega Gnar, not really gonna be able to do much. They flash in. Renegade Fox is the target. He gets Netmark, he gets pointed down. There is Blue Bullberry just about staying alive with the Unbreakable Will. They end up trading 1-for-1 jungler for top laner. Don't know if they can keep this mid lane going. Ezreal does not have the best of wave clear, and they have got the Rift Tower buffs minions, and that tower is going down.
Yeah, it might have been a bit much to use the Z Deathmark, but does confirm that they get the kill. Also means they can't stick around to fight though, because they have nothing to take out this Kog'Maw, and Lulu is still very much around to help deal with any form of engagement. You can see just the amount of damage to put out, and that's without the Lulu autos helping him. That's without the Braum there to protect him, so it's gonna be a rough one.
It is it's just looking so hard at the moment for the side of Legacy of the Kappa to really get anything out of this, and you just gotta feel like, what can they do to really gonna go? They need a mistake from the side of Exitus. That's what they need. They need someone preferably too good to just be in a position where he's completely by himself, burst him out, and then push a lane or get in a big objective like a Baron or something. That's really the only real way I can feasibly see them coming back into this game.
Yeah, just have to out-rotate them at this point, because if they maintain lanes, they'll lose top tower, and they'll lose bot tower, and mid lane is just going to stay pushed, because that's what Lulu does. So there's no lane that they can win if they try just maintain. So they really have to force something now, because this is the point where the game's already looking grim for them.
Yeah, it really is, and see exactly what way the Legacy of the Kappa want to play this now, because they have got a team that can do relatively well if they find the right fights, and that's the thing. They need to find the right fights in order to be able to get this, all rolling back in their favor. So we see now Daxilion kind of steal the blue buff and just walk away scot-free. Nothing anyone on the side of the Legacy of the Kappa can do about that. Again, it's just they can't deal with anybody. I don't think there's actually anyone on this team that can deal with anyone else the other side, because they can't kill anybody and they can't deal with the split pushes.
Yeah, and I think it's the fact that whether they split push or team fight, they lose. That's what's really the biggest struggle for this side. And right now, it could be like, at this point, even if Makeout gets in there, unless the cocoon lands, they still lose that fight. Y'all Need Jesus will go down immediately.
Absolutely, and the thing is, like, it's so dependent on the cocoon. As we say that now, Makeout forced to flash away, does not get anywhere near exactly where he needs to be, and he goes down. That's going to be another dragon number 2, which actually just recently got buffed, going to be taken as well. So that's going to be an interesting one there. Renegade Fox just going to straight up dual Optic Blade, and he doesn't even care about the turret. That was insane amounts of damage coming out from the Aurelia, and there's nothing you can do. As I say now, Slippy coming in might just try and go for this. They are going to get a lot of damage. Will he be able to kill him though? Ooh, that was awfully close. Slippy just killing him off by the death mark, but that shows you how scary this Aurelia is right now, and it's really not working for them.
Yeah, you can see just the Aurelia split pushing is going so well for Exitus, because gotten that early lead, got this huge CS lead, 72 CS on top of the top laner. By far the biggest CS in the game, except for that Kog'Maw as well. So Exitus, in terms of CS, in terms of kills, in terms of map pressure, in terms of objectives, they have pulled every lead possible in this game.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like, if you look at a kind of a thing as well, it doesn't matter if Optic Blade picks up a phase now and build that into a excuse me, and build that into a more damage-orientated item. He's still not tanky enough to deal with this Triforce Gwynzo's Aurelia. So who do you send? You can't send Zed, because we just saw there, Zed doesn't quite actually kill the Aurelia, because not able to do it. No one on the side of Legacy of the Kappa can deal with this split push. They, as you said earlier, they have to send multiple members. They have to invest time. They have to invest possibly flashes, ultimates. And while that's happening, you have a Kog'Maw and a Lulu that are just able to push down lanes so hard. I don't really know where they're going to go with this.
What I'd like to see now from the side of Exitus is you have that Kog'Maw splitting bot just for some free farm. Don't need to force anything right now. Going to anyway.
Yeah, here we go. The Darkstelion going to get locked up, but he's a very tanky man. He pops down the casket, but I don't think he's going to be able to get out of this alive. Makeout picks up that kill, and that's kind of the thing that Legacy of the Kappa need. They need those overextensions where the side, anyone on the side of Exodus just really get cocky and think they can go anywhere they want, and that's where they need to kind of capitalize. Just use your constant lockdown. Like, I don't even think there was about, I think it was about 2 seconds there where Darkstelion was able to actually move. Absolutely crazy. He's now too good, getting jumped on as well. Cocoon lands. They are going to be able to put down a lot of damage. He flashes away, but it won't be enough. He may be able to put a little bit of damage there with the Amphion Surprise. As another kill, and again, another overextension with no wards whatsoever. I feel like Exodus are opening the door for Legacy of the Kappa to really bring themselves back into this game.
Yeah, what I was going to say before Gragas walked into that was I'd like to see Exitus force a Baron play, because with 2 Winsus, that actually burns down so quickly. And you have enough tankiness in that Braum, in that Gragas, that it'll go down in time. However, decide to overextend twice, so Legacy of the Kappa have the openings they need.
Oh, Blue Bullberry may actually have just opened a situation there for his team. Renegade Fox gets hit by the Cocoon and gets exhausted, trying to use the Transcendent Blade. Maybe gonna go for something here. Flashes away. Unbreakable, or Stab Behind Me, gonna be able to use as well. Do good slow there by the Mystic Shot. Again, it's just overextensions here coming out. A little bit shaky from Exodus, and realistically, being 6,000 gold up and the items they have on their team, they really shouldn't be getting caught out this badly. Yeah, they're going to take a red buff as a reprieve, oh, they won't actually, because it will reset, and they don't want to go with this fight at the moment. Everyone on the side is going to be a little bit dodgy to try and go onto this there. And Astro Gaming looking for a little bit, getting poked out. They do get the red buff. Blue Bullberry has not got ult yet. They have got Too Good though, being able to push down. He gets cocooned up, he gets wild growth, and he comes out with a kill on Mako. A huge amount of damage going onto the very squishy Elite. Means that Too Good is able to survive and pick himself up a kill, but are they going to go for Baron now? While Renegade Fox pushes up this top lane, they might actually be able to do it. Renegade Fox has not got a flash, but this is all a big bait. He may be able to get away from this, actually, now that I look at it, because they ended up juking everybody away. Optic Blade is jumping in, and he's just buying time for this Baron. As I say that there, now they do know that the Tree Shot Barrage did go through. They have lost the Baron. They did only pick up 1 kill. Again, poor shot calling there from the side of Legacy of the Kappa. They're not really going for the target they really needed to.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a good distraction there by Renegade Fox, but the fact was, they're not able to chase him down. They're not strong enough or have really any damage to actually kill him. They do manage to get him in the end, because they have to commit all 5 members to it. They knew the Baron was going down, decided it was impossible to fight, went for what they could get, but it means that just getting further and further behind. They might have been able to force something there with a good Gnar ultimate. At this point, it really is a case of they have to force something, because nothing naturally should go wrong for Exitus at this point in the game.
Yeah, and the Baron buff being on the 4 members of the 5 of Exodus means it's going to be that little bit harder, especially with Too Good on that Kog'Maw, being able to just shred down these waves, you can see. But if there was anyone to really kind of deal with a Makeout, though, might be a little bit of trouble. Explosive Casket comes out. Not able to pick up a kill there. Makeout just gets out there as well, baits an ultimate, but again, another turret goes down. Baron buff with the Kog'Maw is going to be so hard. Blue Bullberry, though, going to get caught up. The Unbreakable will be broken eventually. We see just so much damage going down. As I say that now, will he go down? Yes, he will. The ultimate there from Too Good able to do on them. Will they keep going? The W damage is just so much. Will he get it? The execute there from the ultimate means they will pick up another kill. That's a double kill there for Too Good and Kog'Maw. They can just keep on pushing. This could be an inhibitor at 23, 25, 26 minutes in the game, and it will be, as well as mid lane being pushed down. Renegade Fox.
Yeah, and again, they're free to fight here after this inhib if it's decided on the side of Legacy of the Kappa that they want to go for this, but it's just free for Exodus right now. All they have to do is walk into the base, because regardless of what happens, Exodus should have the edge.
Yeah, they should. As we see now, they're pushing down this inhibitor turret in the mid lane. They might try and go with something. They're actually not even trying to engage on the side of Legacy of the Kappa. They just want to try and get them off the turret with the Baron Bull and Cogmal doing so much damage. That turret will be going down. That's the second inhibitor turret going down. And then the second inhibitor is soon to follow. And there's going to be more and more pressure coming out as Asai Slippy gets caught up a little bit too good. Misses the cocoon. They jump on the makeout. He will nearly be going down. Yes, he does. Bronze Glacial Fisher picks that one up. And they pick up Blue Bullberry as well. They can end this push. They have minions. They have health bars. They have too good on Kog'Maw. And that's all they really need. They're going to start going for the Nexus turrets.
Yeah, and they're trying to kill Slippy here because you can see Slippy's just looking to see if he can pick off Too Good. People getting a bit low, decide to heal just in case Renegade Fox gets jumped. Too Good going pretty far forward, but has that Lulu protection.
Oh my god, he is shredding off the blade, forces the flash off him as well. Y'all need Jesus will be seeing Jesus very, very soon. But he does not actually, does go down. They end up picking up a double kill though off of that. Slippy able to pick up that one onto Braum and Kog'Maw. And they survive another wave, but for how long? They have not yet picked up a turret. They have not picked up a dragon. They have got 10 kills, but they're not really any use to you if you've no map pressure.
Yeah, that's 2 inhibs down. The Baron's going to wear off in time, but they can just walk up top lane at this point. This game is all but over at this point. Exitus played it pretty well, honestly. They played to the strengths of their comps. They got a big lead onto the Kog'Maw, which is where they put all their damage. And now, realistically, there's very, very little Legacy of the Kappa can do to stop this because they'd need a massive turnaround and basically death timers to be longer because even if they manage to win a fight at this point, there's no objectives they can take.
No, there's absolutely none. They have not got the best of wave clear on their team either. You've got an Ezreal who really is just there for poke and kind of like small little skirmishes as well as they look to go in for another dragon on the side of Exodus, but no one on the side of Legacy of the Kappa can leave their base. We are seeing a near 100 CS lead for Renegade Fox over Optic Blade, and another dragon going down means that it's just going to be 3 for nothing, and that's going to be an 11,000 gold lead, 11,500 gold lead, and as you say, they're just going to roam up to the top lane. Hi, I'm Dorney, going to be able to shield up, you're going to be able to use the Lulu silence as well. Nothing really else to do. Slippy can't even chunk out their mid laner. That's how dire this situation is right now for the side of Legacy of the Kappa.
Yeah, I found the one person who can't just straight up stun him as the Aurelia doesn't kill him, but still can't kill because of that polymorph, so Dead is functionally useless at this point of the game, as is the rest of the team in dealing with the comp.
Yeah, let's see now. Ooh, Cocoon misses. That could have been the situation. 3-map Pulverize is going to be decent, but not enough good explosive cast there from Jackstina as they just try and jump onto Too Good. He is just too damaging right now with 1 person falls, 2 person, 3 person, 4, and Y'all Need Jesus is the last apostle standing. Not quite sure that one works, but anyway, it's going to be the inhibitor turret going down next. The inhibitor number 3 next to fall as well. The Legacy of the Kappa are seeing their LAN hopes fall in front of them. Nexus turrets drop. There's the Lulu ultimate just for swag points. The Nexus is going to fall as well. And Exodus take out the win on Legacy of the Kappa. GG, well played.
Yeah, and to continue with biblical references, I suppose, if you really want to, that was basically the apocalypse for them because there was nothing they could do. They just had acid raining down upon them in the form of Kog'Maw. You can see they forced the exhaust. They tried to flash onto him a few times there. No one had the damage, and with concussive blows, just everyone got stunned up while trying to deal with them. There was nothing realistically more that Legacy of the Kappa could have done except shut it down earlier in the game.
Absolutely not. And realistically as well, it was a very valiant fight there from Legacy of the Kappa at the start, but their comp just completely snowballed against them. And to anyone listening, if you are in any other team that might be making it to LAN or other games left to play to decide if they go to LAN, you need to ban at least Lulu or Kog'Maw or pick one away from the other team because the combo together is just so scary, so hard to deal with. It's just incredible. I'm going to have a quick look at the graph there to see damage dealt to champions. Kog'Maw dealt 33,500 dealt to champions, and the next person closest to him was, I think, Ezreal on the side of Legacy of the Kappa with 17,500. So 20,000 more nearly than anyone else. More than double than everyone else. And that's just scary when you think about it.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. That was a pretty interesting game in the sense that Exitus do secure a pretty good top spot there, going 5-1 alongside Sex Badgers and Javelin. So we'll be seeing them at LAN and see if they can either be given that comp again or have similar performances. But for now, thank you very much for joining us.